A blessed morning to all our dear students, to all our very supportive parents and guardians, and of course to all our very hardworking teaching and non-teaching staff of the Lipa Grace Academy Incorporated. Before I discuss the matters that are related to the opening of classes for school year 2021-2022, let me share a word of God from the book of Psalm chapter 37 verse 5. It is said that God has His reason for allowing things to happen. We may never understand His wisdom, but we have to trust His will. To all our dear students, I know that coping up with the new normal is very, very challenging. But God has shown His mercy and faithfulness to all of us. And He will continue to show His mercy and faithfulness to all of us. Just have to trust Him and do your best so that you'll be able to finish this school year 2021-2022 even though there is a pandemic. At sa atin po mga magulang, bilang magulang, nauunawaan ko po na napakamapaghamon ng ating panahon. Ngunit patuloy lamang po tayong magtiwala sa ating Panginoon sapagkat siya lang po ang may kakayanan na magtawid sa atin, sa ating kinalalagyan sa panahong ito. Okay, so without further ado, let me discuss the TLGA Roadmap as we gear towards the school year 2021-2022. Please stay with me. Okay, so this is the TLGA Roadmap, school year 2021-2022. So, what are the contents of my presentation for today? So, I have the TLGA, which is the Lord's Vineyard. So, it covers the history, the school seal, the vision, the mission, the biblical philosophy, and the core values. I also have the TLGA Learning Continuity Plan, and it covers the identification, the 5 pillars of Learning Continuity Plan, and the TLGA Distance Learning Handbook. We believe that we are experiencing 5 decades of God's amazing grace. And we also do believe that the Lipa Grace Academy is the Lord's Vineyard. So for this school year, we are celebrating the 51st founding anniversary of our institution. So this is the history of our beloved school. TLGA is an educational arm of the Lipa Evangelical Church. So Lipa Evangelical Church is also a member of a bigger body called the United Church of Christ in the Philippines, or yung UCCP. It was founded as an ecumenical. Pag sinabi natin ecumenical, ito ay we have different Christian churches. Okay? Ito ay samahan kumbaga ng iba't ibang Christian churches and a non-sectarian institution. Okay, kaya nga sa ating paaralan, hindi lang ang tinatanggap ay mga UCCP members. So we are also accepting students from other religious affiliations. Okay? We are also a non-stock and non-profit organization. TLGA believes that every person is a child of God, and the kingdom of God is universal, extending to all of God's creation. And on July 5, 1970, Grace Kindergarten, then Grace Learning Center, and now the Lipa Grace Academy was born. In 1996, the first batch of grade 6 pupils made a 100% passing average in the National Achievement Test, and on June 10, 2002, the cornerstone of a 4-story high school building was laid. So, yun yung kauna-unahan na nagawa yung ating high school building. And then on June 14, 2002, TLGA was granted a permit to open the first year of the high school department, and on June 20, 2002, TLGA was incorporated as a subsidiary of the Lipa Evangelical Church Incorporated. And for the school year 2005 to 2006, the Lipa Grace Academy Incorporated has been granted government recognition effective March 16, 2005. And with the introduction of K-12 program in 2013, the senior high school program of the Lipa Grace Academy was granted provisional permit to implement the senior high school curriculum in the school year 2016-2017. And we have the school seal. Please take a look at our school seal. Nakikita natin yung pangalan ng the Lipa Grace Academy and Lipa Evangelical Church. And then we have very significant images here. We have the cross. We have the building. Of course, we have the Bible. And then we have the pictures of 3 persons holding hands together. And then we have the stairs and the year 1970. So, ano po yung mga ibig sabihin noon? So, the Lipa Grace Academy is the name of the school that carries out the Christian education program of the church. And the Lipa Evangelical Church is the church that built the Lipa Grace Academy. The cross symbolizes the Christian way of life. The building depicts the school or a home as an area for learning. Kaya nga partner ang ating paaralan at ang ating mga tahanan. The 3 persons represents the relationship of the teachers or the parents with their helping hands for the students or children. The Bible is the greatest book and becomes the school's living manual as the light and the lamp along the path. Okay, so the steps. So the stairs on both sides represent the ladder of success and stages of the academic status of the children. Their ultimate goal is to realize the importance of knowing God through education. And in 1970, that was the founding year of the school. As I've said earlier, the school year is our 51st founding anniversary. Let us go to the vision and mission of the school. For the vision of the school, the Lipa Grace Academy Incorporated is a leading educational institution dedicated to share the truth of God's love, providing each learner the best opportunity to grow as a total person responsible for God and country. And for our mission, the Lipa Grace Academy Incorporated is the arm of the Lipa Evangelical Church, which carries out its Christian education program to share God's blessings to children of school age in the spirit of Great Commission. We also have our biblical philosophy. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. So that is from Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. We have the Gratian core values. Ano ba yung core values? Ibig sabihin, while students are at school, we should make them students who are God-fearing, respectful, accountable, compassionate, and excellent. And yung mga core values na ito should not be exhibited or demonstrated by our students during their stay at school, but it extends to up to they leave the school and they search for a bigger world outside the school. So, pag sinabi natin God-fearing, how can we say that a child is God-fearing? These are the basic qualities that should be demonstrated by a child who is God-fearing. So, first, a child should manifest qualities of Christians. Second, or he shows proper behavior and respect during prayers, chapel services, and campus ministry activities. Thus, things to give glory to God and manifests wisdom, as the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Alam naman natin yan, that's written in the Bible, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. How can we say that a child is respectful? Unang-una, dapat siya is courteous in dealing with everyone in the community, considers others' feelings and emotions carefully, pays due attention to the laws, school policies, and rules, and manifests other qualities that show respect. Okay, yung respeto natin, hindi lang sa mga tao, kundi sa sanglilikha ng Panginoon. So, mga tao at sa ating kapaligiran. Accountable. How can we say that a learner is accountable? First, he or she should be responsible in dealing with everything, comes to school well prepared, does more than what is expected, able to take care of all God's creations. Ito yung sangnilikha. We should be stewards of God's creation. Not only stewards of people, but also stewards of our environment. And exhibits other qualities that show accountability. Compassionate. How can we show compassion? So, unang-una, we should be sensitive to the needs of peers, knows when to be of help without being asked, gives encouragement to peers selflessly, and demonstrates other qualities that show compassion. Excellent. So first, submits exemplary works and other requirements, works beyond the standards, and displays the qualities of commitment to excellence. Now, let us have the TLGA Roadmap to the new normal. So this is the school's learning continuity plan for school year 2021-2022. Identification. Class advisors through the Google Classroom will send links for the following purposes. So, ang inyong class advisor ay gagawa ng Google Classroom. Dapat kayo ay maging members ng Google Classroom. Okay? Nagagawin na inyong class advisor kasi lahat ng announcement ng school at ng inyong mga class advisor ay doon ipopost sa Google Classroom. Okay? So, aside from that, merong mga announcements o merong mga dapat isaayos ngayong simula ng pasukan ang inyong mga class advisor. So, first of all, the class advisor will get the email address of both the learner and the guardian or parent. The email address of the learner should be in the form tlga.firstname@gmail.com. So, ito ay format lang ng email address ng mga learners o kayong mga bata. And sa parents or sa guardian, they can choose whatever email or whatever format of their email address na gusto nila. Okay? So, example, TLGA dot first name is Joy, last name was Hosmilio at gmail.com. Tandaan, ito lamang ang format na ating susundin sa paggagawa ng email. And this email address will be used in registering for your learning management system and in joining your Google Classroom. Number 2, to identify yourself as an online or offline learner. Doon sa ipapadala na inyong advisor, i-identify ninyo kung kayo ay online or offline learner. By the way, learners and parents who are listening to me right now, ang atin pong pag in-identify po natin ang bata as online or offline, yan po ay free will, kayo ay may option. Pag online po, tayo ay may kapasidad na makakonect sa internet, either through Wi-Fi or data, mobile data. At kapag ka naman po offline, talaga pong siya ay walang connection or walang other means para siya ay makakonect sa internet. Mamaya po, doon sa ating mga sunod na presentation, ipapaliwanag ko po yung pagkakaiba ng online and offline learners. Hindi po tayo pwedeng magpalit ng status hanggat hindi natatapos ang isang quarter. Kung i-declare po natin na ang bata ay online learner o kayong mga bata ay online learner for first quarter, buong first quarter kayo ay online learner. Kung i-declare nyo na kayo ay offline learner, buong first quarter kayo ay offline. Ngayon, kung gusto nyo magpalit, makakapagpalit lang kayo pagdating ng second quarter. And number 3, to get the basic information and picture for issuance of school ID. Magkakaroon po tayo ng school ID this year. So, mayroong ipapadalang form for the application of the school ID. Meron dong requirement kung ano dapat ang hitsura ng picture. At ngayon, kung mahihirapan tayo na mag-attach ng picture doon sa Google Form or doon sa ating online application form, you can drop by the school and give your picture to our school secretary. Also, to give the copy of the TLGA Distance Learning Handbook. Meron po tayo ngayon Distance Learning Handbook at may mga revisions tayo which are applicable for online learning or distance learning. And we also have the form for ESC application. This is only for grade 7. So yan yung mga dapat na makita ninyo doon sa Google Classroom before na mag-start ang klase. So ipapadala na ito sa inyo ng inyong mga class advisor within this week. Yung mga links niyan. So make sure na ma-access ninyo ang link at masagutan ninyo yung mga fields na dapat sagutan doon. It is a must. Okay? And okay, so yan. Please make sure to visit all the links sent by your advisor in the Google Classroom. In addition, make sure that you are a member of the class group chat. So, bukod sa Google Classroom, meron pa kayong GC. So, make sure that you are a member of your class GC. Now, difference between the online and the offline learners. Pag sinabi po nating online, yung ating structured daily learning plan, ano po ba yung SDLP? Ang SDLP po, diyan makikita yung ginagawa ng bata o yung gagawin ng bata, yung task niya daily. So, pwede po yung, kung ikaw ay online learner, ay ipapadala namin ang soft copy, may Google Drive link, kaming ibibigay. Kung ikaw ay offline, printed ang ibibigay sa iyo. Okay? Ngayon, yun namang ating structured daily learning plan. Kung tayo ay may LMS, hindi naman talaga kailangan mag-refer pa kayo doon kasi nakalagay na doon sa LMS kung ano ang inyong gagawin for the day. But why do you have to have a copy of the structured daily learning plan? Lalo na yung sa soft copy. Kasi ang offline naman talaga bibigyan ng printed. What if walang kuryente? So, kapag ka na-access ninyo yung structured daily learning plan, the safest way is to print or to download and save para kung mawalan ng internet, okay, o mawalan ng kuryente, ay hindi maiimpide yung inyong mga gawain kasi guided pa rin kayo ng inyong mga gawain for the day. And then for daily learning task, okay, so makikita nyo yan through our LMS. If you're an online, nakalagay yun sa to-dos. Kaya ma-access nyo yun doon. Pagbukas nyo pa lang na inyong LMS, nandyan na yung mga gagawin nyo. However, sa students na offline, they have to refer to the printed SDLP. Instruction, synchronous and asynchronous. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng synchronous and asynchronous? Kapag ikaw ay online learner, ikaw ay required na umattend ng ating synchronous class. Ano yon? Yung Google Meet class. O yung class, yung virtual class natin through Google Meeting. So, it is a requirement. Basta ikaw ay dineclare na online, it is a requirement na mag-attend ka ng Google Class natin. Pero kapag ikaw ay offline, ikaw ay offline sa lahat. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka po pwedeng umattend ng Google Meeting. Okay? At ang iyong pagsasubmit ay hindi rin po pwede ng via online platforms. Ang pagsasubmit mo ay through school drop boxes na makikita sa ating, of course, school lobby. As in, offline ka talaga. Hindi mo rin ma-access ang mga aralin sa ating learning management system. That's why I'm encouraging all learners to be online. Kasi sa online learning, may Google Meeting kayo. So, it's a real-time learning. Kayo ay nandoon na inyong teacher. You can ask straight away kung ano yung inyong mga clarifications. Masasagot agad ng teacher. And then you can interact with your classmates. So, literally, ito ay parang classroom teaching. Ang pagkakaiba lang, you are in a bigger spaces kasi kayo hiwa-hiwalay. Unlike before, magkakasama kayo sa isang space, which is the classroom. For online learning, magkikita-kita pa rin kayo. Yun nga lang, you are not in one place. Kasi kayo ay nasa in the comfort of your home. Okay? And then for asynchronous, kasi yun namang mga gawain during ICL or the individual collaborative learning, yun ay ang inyong Google Meeting ay once a week, which is good for 2 hours para mahaba. And once a week lang kada subject. And the remaining 2 hours, yun ang gagamitin ninyo sa paggawa ng inyong PETA at ng inyong mga formative test or formative exercises na matatagpuan sa inyong libro or sa inyong worksheets. So that is for individual and collaborative work, depende kung ano yung instruction na inyong teacher. Pag sinabi ng teacher na this is an individual work, syempre gagawin mo yon mag-isa. Pero pag sinabi niya this is a group work, you have to collaborate with your group mates. Okay? Para makapag-produce kayo ng output. And then, so yung offline, asynchronous lang talaga yon. Kasi hindi siya talaga pwedeng mag-join sa Google Meeting. And then, assessment task, kapag formative test, so after ng discussion for 2 hours, lahat ng subjects, merong formative test. So, sa isang araw, kaya namin ginawa lang na 2 hours so that you will not be overwhelmed of so many to-do things that will appear in your LMS. So, basically, sa isang araw, meron lang kayong isang subject from 7:30 to 9:30. And then, meron kayong break from 9:30 to 9:45. Another subject for 9:45 to 11:45. So, that is your second subject. And then, break uli kayo for lunch break, which is 11:45 to 12:30. And then, another subject from 12:30 to 2:30. Okay? So, meron na kayong 3 subjects. So, yung mga higher grades, meron silang 2:30 to 3:30 kasi meron silang lamang talaga na isang oras. Yung grade 9 and grade 10. May lamang na isang oras sa grade 7 and grade 8. Kaya yung kanilang 2:30 to 3:30. So, meron na kayong 3 subjects na kung saan a-attend kayo ng Google Meeting during a day. And then, kada subject, meron lang once a week Google Meeting. And then, ICL na yung remaining half of the allotted hours for the week. Okay? So, please pay attention during the Google Meeting kasi lahat ng subject, it is a requirement na after the discussion, okay, merong formative test kayong sasagutan. And then, after na formative test, kayo ay naka-online pa rin or kayo ay hindi ko pa rin kayo magli-leave sa Google Meeting habang kayo ay nagte-test. And then, after ng test, that is, meron kayong time limit. It's a short test. It's a short test lamang na focusing doon sa inyong discussion during the day. I-discuss ni teachers yung tamang sagot. Kaya nga siya ay formative para makita at maklarify kung alin yung hindi nyo pa naiintindihan. And then sa offline, siya ay printed ang SDL, ang test nila, ang formative test nila. Ano ang disadvantage kapag ikaw ay offline? Unang-una, you will wait a week para mo malaman kung tama yung iyong kasagutan. Pangalawa, it is at your age, which you are still high school students, learning with friends or learning with classmates, motivating, diba? Kasi yung asynchronous learning, yung flexible learning that they can work on their own, it's more applicable on graduate and tertiary level. Ano doon sa ating graduate level or tertiary level? Yun yung sa college at saka yung makumukuha ng master's and doctorate program. So, kapag kayo sa basic education, it's very ideal na talaga may interaction with your classmates so that you'll be motivated to learn together. That's why I'm discouraging you to enroll as offline learner. Okay? And then we have the summative test, which is quarterly. Ito, kada summative test talaga, kapag ikaw ay online, need mo talaga na mag-test using the learning management system. So there are 4 quarterly exams. Okay? So during those 4 quarterly exams, you have to access the learning management system. You can go to a place where there is a Wi-Fi connection, or you can use the mobile data para lamang ikaw ay makapag-exam. Okay? And then performance task, papaano isinasubmit ang performance task? Through our learning management system. Kapag ka naman offline, ay di yan ang pagsasubmit niyan. Ang nakalagay dyan sa inyong SDLP ay isasubmit nyo iyan through school Dropbox. Okay? At doon nyo rin makikita ang instruction doon sa SDLP ninyo. For the performance tasks, okay, so yung direction, makikita niyo yan sa Quiper, sa inyong learning management system on how you are going to do the performance task. Siyempre, yung performance task natin, you are going to do that during the ICL period o yung tinatawag nating individual collaborative learning. Sa offline, yung direction or yung problem na gagawin ninyo about the performance tasks, that is printed in your SDLP, or kapag siya ay masyadong mahaba, meron siyang printed na instruction na ibibigay. Okay? During the releasing of materials. And then sa ating formative assessment, submission, output submission. Yung kasing formative assessment, may nabanggit ako kanina na after ng discussion, meron short quiz doon. Okay? So basically, ang test doon is multiple choice. At tungkol yun sa naging discussion during that day or during the subject. May another form pa kayo ng formative test. Yun yung sinasagutan nyo sa libro during ICL, sa work text ninyo, or kung ang subject ay hindi kailangan ang books, may provided ng worksheets ang inyong teachers, ang inyong subject teachers. So kung ikaw ay online, makikita mo yung link ng kanilang worksheets doon sa iyong Quiper. Kung ikaw naman ay offline, ID ang ibibigay sa iyo ay printed copy noong instructions. Okay? O kaya na may nakasave siya sa USB. Okay? And then, yung mga isasubmit natin na sinagutan natin sa libro or sa worksheets, isasubmit natin siya through the learning management system. How? Explain yan sa inyo on Friday. So, last year, ang ginagawa natin is, kapag tayo nag-submit, sa Google Classroom tayo nagsasubmit. But this school year, we will maximize the use of the learning management system because there are already features of the Quiper wherein students can attach the file or can attach a photo of the file or scan copy of their output at yun ay papasok sa subject teacher. Okay? Kung ikaw naman ay offline learner, syempre, ang pagsasubmit mo na ginawa mo sa books or sa worksheets ay through school Dropbox. Every Monday ang submission niyan dito sa school. Sa school lobby, meron ulit tayong mga school, meron ulit tayong mga boxes dyan with different year level. Like last year, you have to put everything. Kung ilan ang subject ninyo, ay din ang number of envelopes na inyong isasubmit at ilagay nyo sa isang plastic envelope. So, kung ang subjects mo ay meron tayong Math, English, Filipino, Science, and then we have the AP, the TLE, and the Computer, the ESP, and MAPE, sama-sama na, meron ka dapat 9 na envelopes na may pangalan, kay brown envelopes. Lalagyan ninyo ng pangalan kada subject, lahat ng inyong work, ipapasok nyo doon. Sa bawat envelope, depende sa subject. At yung siyam na yon, ilagay nyo sa isang malaki na expandable plastic envelope para hindi magkahiwa-hiwalay, para diretso siya sa advisor. Advisor na ang bahala magbigay sa mga subject teachers. Okay, so Dapat dalawa yung ganan ninyo, dalawang set para habang nasa school pa, pag binalik kasi kayo na, pag nagdala sila ng Monday, hopefully madala nyo na yung ginawa ninyo last week na check na. So, para habang may ginagawa ka at hindi nawawala yung ginagawa mo, habang nasa school pa yung isang set mo na envelopes, may isa ka pang set mo doon ilalagay. Pero to minimize all these hassles or to avoid all these hassles, I encourage you to be online learner so you can also enjoy the learning management system. Kaya kasi it's more organized, walang nawawalang files, diretso yun sa teacher plus no hassle of bringing your work here at the school lobby. And then yun naman you have the copy of the things that you are submitting to your teachers. Kasi makikita naman yan sa LMS na kayo ay nag-submit. Kaysa before na may tendency pa na wala pag nagkasama-sama sa Dropbox. So mas maganda talaga if you can maximize the use of the LMS. Ngayon yung ating summative assessment quarterly, syempre, Quipper ang pagsasubmit. Pag nagsagot ka sa Quipper, syempre, masasubmit din yun sa teacher through Quipper. Once na kayo ay nag-submit doon, o nag-okay doon, papasok na yun sa teacher. Performance tasks. Quipper din ito, class. Quipper na rin ang ating pagsasubmit ng performance task. At yun namang offline, of course, siya ay sa Dropbox talaga. Hindi talaga siya pwede mag-submit kasi pag kaway offline, totally offline ka. Hindi ka pwede makipag-communicate doon sa teachers. Communication, not yun naman communicate na all aspects of communication. Yun lamang accessing the learning materials and submitting the learning materials, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin through online. Pero let's say meron kang problema meron kang mga katanungan, syempre yung group chat po pwede naman yun. O po pwede you can directly message your teachers or your subject teachers. Now, we have the 5 pillars of learning continuity. So dito sa ating new normal, we introduced this last year and will be continuing this year. We introduced 5 pillars of learning continuity. So all the things, all the programs that we are doing right now are anchored in these 5 pillars of learning continuity. First, we have the godliness. So what are the programs of the school for godliness? So we have the chapel service every first Monday of the month. So please, I'm encouraging everyone to attend the chapel service every first Monday of the month. And then the reflection every morning. So every day yan, may reflection. Mapera doon sa first Monday of the month kasi may chapel service. And of course, our campus ministry will spearhead the activity of creating cell groups. Okay? So a subject called campus ministry will be created. It is a must to join the said subject. So kayo ay mag-join sa subject na yon kasi doon yung link ng virtual chapel service ay doon ninyo makikita. Okay? So we are also encouraging the parents or guardians to join the chapel service together with your children or your child. Paano pa natin kumbaga ay ma-reach yung goal ng godliness as one of the 5 pillars of learning continuity? So each student will have a chance to share a Bible verse and a short reflection before lesson discussion begins. Okay, so offline learners need to submit a written reflection every week. So paano yon? Lahat ng subject will allot 5 minutes before the discussion for the memory verse and reflection. So may mga assignment ng inyong subject teacher every meeting kung sino magre-recite ng Bible verse at magbibigay ng 1 to 2 minutes of reflection doon sa kanyang sinabi or doon sa kanyang napili na Bible verse. Kung ikaw ay online, kailan niyang gagawin? Of course, before nung ating virtual class through Google Classroom. Paano naman kung ikaw ay offline? Hindi ka pa rin ligtas. So every week, Kapag ikaw ay nag-submit ng iyong mga output through the school drop box, ay isasama mo yung reflection. Isusulat mo yung reflection sa isang papel, na yellow paper, or any form of paper, as long as it's presentable and readable. Ilalagay mo doon ang iyong memory verse at ilalagay mo ang iyong reflection, and you will submit that together with your outputs in different subjects. Of course, we have the celebration of the Bible Week. Naging atin ng tradisyon yan. Ano yung pangalawa? R. So, kanina, godliness, G. And now we have the R, resilience amidst the pandemic. So, pag sinabi natin resilience, it's not only, kumbaga ay, facing the pandemic, but also, finding ways on how you can move forward. So, hindi lang basta mo siya hinarap, kundi papaano mo igagather ang iyong strength to move forward kahit alam mo na it's difficult, it's very challenging to move forward because of this pandemic in front of you. Okay? So, we have the student support services. Ano yung ating mga student support services? Meron tayong campus ministry program, which part of it I already discussed earlier. We have the guidance and counseling programs. So, napakaganda ng ating guidance and counseling programs, which will be presented by our very hardworking guidance counselor tomorrow, okay, during the third day of your orientation for this week. And then we also have the Student Affairs, Student Development Program. Ito yung mga extracurricular activities, syempre, headed by also an equally hardworking OIC of SAU, Miss Marife Lupig. And then, which will be discussed to you. So, yung ano yung mga programs ng Student Affairs this school year. Kung kayo ay nasiyahan sa mga programa last school year, napakarami nating naging programa sa kabila ng pandemya, ay tayo ay nag-enjoy sa panonood at doon sa mga participants sa pagsali para ma-showcase ang ating talents. Mas maganda this year because, kumbaga adjusted na tayo at nakita namin last year na possible pala na magkaroon ng mga extracurricular activities. So this school year, will be adapting more or less some of the activities, and there will be activities that will be enhanced. Okay? Meron din tayong community extension program. This is a new department in our school. So this is headed by our very hardworking as well at ang ating very motherly ang approach na teacher, si Teacher Des Baroja. So, abangan ninyo sa inyong mga barangay ang magiging programa ng ating Community Extension Program. And then we have also the different channels of communication. So, alam nyo naman that kayo ay may avenue para makontak ang inyong teachers, ang inyong advisor. So, bibigyan nila kayo ng time kung mula anong oras hanggang anong oras sila pwedeng sumagot sa inyong mga queries. Pwede rin kayong tumawag sa ating hotline 757-3327 kung ito ay sa principal office. Kung ito naman ay sa guidance office 981-2622. At kung ito naman ay sa cashier at sa registrar yun din 981-2622. Okay, meron pa tayong other channels of communication. Meron tayong email. And then, meron din tayong mga group chats. Okay, so yun, we have different channels of communication. At ang pinaka very risky yet, we really have to do this to help and reach out our students, ay yung aming home visitation. So alam niyo naman na despite the pandemic, kahit pa very risky ang pagpunta sa ating mga estudyante, basta't kami ay pinayagan ng magulang na dalawin ang aming mga bata na nahihirapan na makakope up dito sa ating new normal. Talaga yan ibinibigyan natin ng pagkakataon na dalawin ng ating guidance counselor kasama ang advisor at saka ang subject teachers. Ano naman yung A sa ating 5 pillars of learning continuity? So, meron tayong godliness, meron tayong resilience amidst the pandemic, and yung naman A, active engagement in learning. Ito yung mahaba. Okay? So, at ito ang dapat maintindihan ninyo. So, unang-una, meron tayong learning management system. Yan yung Kuiper. So, we'll be using Kuiper again. So, para po doon sa ating mga bagong estudyante, at doon na rin sa ating mga old students because there are improvements and modifications in our Kuiper. So, they improve their features for this school year. Knowing the weaknesses of their system last year, they really work hard itong Kuiper to improve their services this school year. So there will be a tutorial video focusing on how to open the lessons and submit the assessment outputs through the LMS, which will be shown on Friday. So the video will be prepared by our very hardworking teacher, Sir Eman, and will be available in the school's YouTube channel. So lahat naman yan na ibibigay sa inyo ng anyong advisor. Okay? So, standardization in the conduct of synchronous and asynchronous learning. By the way, please don't miss out the tutorial video na ipapalabas. At anytime na kayo stuck, you just have to rewatch the video. So, after ng presentation ni Sir Eman sa Friday, and then let's say after a week or two, habang ginagamit mo learning management system mo, may nakalimutan kang features, you can go back to the YouTube channel ng TLGA, nandoon yon. Okay, so going back here, standardization in the conduct of synchronous and asynchronous learning. Syempre, ang ating Google Meeting attendance is our way of monitoring the attendance for online learners. So, unlike before na tayo may video, this year may mga videos pa rin as a supplementary material. Pero very basic ang ating teaching and learning ngayon ay sa pamamagitan ng Google Meeting. Pero, students, hindi na rin po pwede yung, hindi na ako attend ngayon, tapos bukas hindi. It is a requirement kasi pag hindi ka nag-attend at ikaw ay declared na online, ay di yun ay absent. Okay? Pero mas maganda talaga na ikaw ay mag-online. Umattend kayo kasi mas may intindihan nyo talaga pag may discussion. Huwag kayong tamarin na umattend ng Google Meeting kasi mas mahirap mag-aral na mag-isa na wala kang matanong, hindi mo maintindihan yung material sa pinag-aaralan mo, tapos wala ka pang mapagtanungan. Okay? So, if you fail to attend the Google class, so syempre, probably there would be times na hindi ka maka-attend kasi walang kuryente, bigla na wala ng internet, which is very common naman na bigla na lang nangyayari na walang internet. So, ang gagawin natin is, we will email the guidance office sa address na ito, email address na ito, tlgahs.guidanceoffice@gmail.com. Yan naman ay nasa inyo ring student handbook. So, kung kayo ay mag-a-absent, i-email nyo si Miss Jessa sa email address na yan at sasabihin ninyo kung bakit kayo ay hindi naka-attend. Pero, machi-check din namin kung talagang kayo nawalaan ng internet kasi merong, pwede namin itong i-check sa Converge kung talagang yung area ninyo ay nawala ng internet. Okay? Or, dun sa Battle, yan naman ay naka-announce sa kanilang page kung ano yung mga areas na walang kuryente. Okay? Para doon naman sa ating offline learners, outputs will be the basis of attendance for offline learners. Gaya na sinabi ko dati, uulitin ko, pag ikaw ay offline learners, ikaw ay offline lahat. Okay? Mapera sa iyong quarterly exam na i-access mo siya through the Kuiper or through the learning management system. Bakit namin ginawa ito na pinag-iwalay namin ng online-offline? Last year, nagde-declare ang bata na online. Okay. Ngayon, pagka tinanong namin, kasi sa online makikita mo naman kung sino bata talaga hindi nag-submit kasi kumbaga, since we were using Google Classroom that time, nakalagay naman kay Google Classroom na ay, itong bata na ito ay missing. So, ibig sabihin, wala ka talagang sinubmit. So, tatanungin namin ang bata. Sasabihin ng bata ay, ako po'y sa Dropbox naglagay. Pag hinanap namin sa Dropbox, wala naman. Sasabihin, siya baka po nawala. So, as much as possible, iniiwasan. Kaya, tinanggal na namin sa mga barangay. Dito na dadalhin sa school talaga. So, hindi na yan mawawala pag nandito sa school. Ito na, dito na sa Dropbox ng school. At, kapag ikaw ay online, ang ginagawa kasi ng bata, pag tinamad, ay siya bigla na lang mag-o-offline. O pagka naman, ay bigla na lang mag-o-online. Hindi po pwede. Kung i-declare mo na ikaw ay online ngayon, online ka for the whole quarter. Okay? Ngayon, pag nakita namin sa assessment na ikaw ay offline, let's say, dineclare mo ang iyong sarili ay offline learner, at nakikita namin na hindi ka nakakasubmit, hindi ka nakakapasa, we will have a conference with you and your parent, and kailangan talaga namin na ikaw ay online. Okay? Because that's the only way para maka-cope up ka doon sa aralin. Kasi, kahit pa ikaw ay pinili mong offline, at sa aming assessment ay hindi ka po pwedeng offline kasi hindi ka makahabol, ay mapipilitan kang mag-online sa susunod na quarter. Talagang mapipilitan kang mag-online kasi it's useless. Bakit ka papasok ng papasok? Nasasayang ang time, nasasayang ang oras. Samantalang nahihirapan ka naman doon sa offline at hindi, you cannot be an independent learner. Hindi mo siya matutunan na mag-isa. At kailangan mo talaga ng help. Okay? So, wala kang magagawa kundi maging online learner sa susunod na quarter. Okay, ano naman yung part pa rin ito ng active engagement in learning. So, meron tayong distance learning survey available for students. So, to better improve our services, ay meron tayong mga survey tools na ipapadala sa mga bata at ganoon din sa parents para makita namin what are the points to be improved, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses. So, ang gusto ko lamang mga bata, please be cooperative, do not be subjective. Pag kayo nagsagot, yun talagang honest, hindi yung basta sinagutan. So, pag-iisipan talaga kung ano yung sagot sa online survey at dapat yung totoo. Hindi yung dahil galit ka lang kay teacher, dahil napakahigpit, napakadahil magpagawa, ay hindi na totoo yung naging survey. Kasi kapag ganon, we have no means to improve our services. Okay? And then, meron tayong student engagement monitoring. Ano naman yung student engagement monitoring? Ang gumagawa nito ay subject teachers. Meron kaming ginagamit na program to monitor each student in each subject. So, yung mga subject teachers, may isasubmit sila sa ating class advisor, sa inyong advisor. So, kung ikaw ay 7 Corinthians, yung lahat ng teachers mo ay magsasubmit kay Miss Des ng iyong performance. Halimbawa, English ikaw ay complete, Mathematics complete, Science complete, pero pagdating ng AP ng ay incomplete. Ano yung mga kulang? Okay? So, yun yung imo-monitor ni subject teacher, ipapadala kay class advisor para si class advisor naman, dito papasok yung kanyang report sa flexible class weekly monitoring. So, mag-prepare siya ng report from student engagement monitoring. Ilalagay niya yung kanyang naging resulta ng student engagement monitoring do sa flexible class weekly monitoring. So, kita na namin doon ang mga batang hindi agad nagsasubmit, ang mga batang hindi nagkukumpleto ng kanyang mga gawain. Kita rin naman namin ang mga batang on time mag-submit, kumpleto, lahat done ang kanyang mga gawain sa week na iyon. Okay? Pagka na-prepare niya ang flexible class weekly monitoring, mag-meeting ang year level. Okay? So, kung grade 7, lahat ng advisors ng grade 7, at may mga i-refer diyan sa guidance, Makikita na nila sino mga batang pang-refer sa guidance kasi hindi gumagawa. Ayan, susulatan na inyong parents, tatawagan ng inyong parents. At kapag hindi pa rin, bibisitahin na kayo. Bakit? Anong inyong problema? And then, kung kayo ay online, kung kayo ay offline, kayo ay ilalagay sa online. At kung kayo online, mananatili kayo sa online, kahit pa maging option nyo ay maging offline. Kasi kung nahihirapan ka sa online, mas mahihirapan ka sa offline kasi that's not a real-time teaching. Okay? Hindi mo agad makakausap, hindi ka kaagad makakapagtanong straight away doon sa iyong guro kung ano yung hindi mo naintindihan sa lesson. Okay? So, we also have the professional development of teachers. So, syempre, para rin makapagbigay ng tamang serbisyo ang ating mga guro, every Friday, ang ating mga teachers ay mayroong demo teaching for critiquing. So, ang inyong mga teachers, bukod sa magtuturo sa inyo, ay magde-demo teaching pa rin sila kaharap ang kanilang mga kapwa guro para kaming mga kapwa guro masabi sa kanya kung ano pa yung mga areas ng kanyang pagtuturo ang dapat ma-improve. Okay? Students will also answer the weekly self-monitoring assessment, pero unlike last year na every subject at ang nagpapadala sa inyo ang subject teacher, this will be handled by the guidance office. So sila na ang magpapadala sa inyo, siya na magpapadala sa inyo, si Miss Jessa Laig, at sasagutan ninyo ang weekly self-monitoring assessment. Dapat bang sagutan? Yes. Okay? So kapag kayo ay hindi nagsasagot, di kayo mamamarka na incomplete. Isa pa yan sa, kumbaga, mare-record sa inyo na hindi nagsasagot ng weekly monitoring ang batang ari. Ayun naman walang tama at mali. Yan ay para lang namin makita kung ano ang iyong progress. Okay? And of course, meron na tayo ngayon TLGA Distance Learning Handbook. Makikita nyo mamaya yung ating mga naging revisions doon or additional features doon sa ating TLGA Distance Learning Handbook. O sa C na tayo, meron na tayong G, merong R, merong A. Of course, meron tayong C. Conformity with the health standards, of course. Now, sorry to say, we are still experiencing the blow of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we are not safe at all. So we will, for this school year, we will continue the distance learning. So you'll be learning at the comfort of your home, but we, as your teachers, here at the Lepagres Academy, are doing our best to give you the best services here for in distance learning. So talagang masusi namin pinag-aralan kung ano yung dapat naming ma-improve last year para kung ano yung maganda namin na nagawa last year ay aming i-retain. Yung mga hindi masyadong kumbaga ay kailangan pang i-improve. Yun na lang yung the right word is yung mga areas na kailangan namin mag-improve, talagang ginawa namin ng paraan ngayon na mahanapan ng or ma-address siya para ma-improve na yung mga areas na iyon. So, nauunawaan namin mga bata ang inyong struggles dito sa distance learning. Kahit kami na teachers ay nahihirapan, but we do not have any options. Tayo ay nasa gitna pa rin ng pandemya. How I wish I can see you sa ating school. Namimiss ko na yung maingay na kantin, ang mga classroom na maingay pag walang klase, ang ating hallways na puno ng nagtatawanan, nagtatakbuhan na bata. Magto 2 years na tayong ganito. But we have to wait patiently. And everything will be back to normal soon if we believe na in our Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? So, distance learning pa rin tayo for this school year. Ngayon, yung mga grown-ups like the senior high school or the grade 10 students, I don't know kasi nagbabago kasi ang ating mga protocols depende kung anong alert level tayo. Lalo ngayon, tayo ay may Delta variant. Pero kapag pinapayagan na ng IATF na pumunta dito sa school, so po pwede yung ating mga grown-ups, yung ating mga higher years, instead ng kanilang parents, because probably their parents are also working, they can submit or they can submit their work if they're on offline learners sa ating mga drop boxes, or they can communicate with their teachers face to face. Yun nga lang, kailangan i-observe ang ating health standards and protocols na ating pinapatupad sa paaralan. Okay? As much as possible ay minimize natin yung face-to-face dito sa school. Pumunta lamang sa school kung talagang kailangan. Okay? Pero wag pupunta din sa school para lamang mamasyal. Baka sa pagpunta nyo din ay mahawa pa kayo ng COVID at makapagdala pa kayo sa inyong mga pamilya. Okay? And of course, majority of the teaching and non-teaching staff are partially or fully vaccinated. So, we're trying our best na makipagsiksikan sa ating mga barangay, sa kanya-kanyang barangay. So, ang mga guro ay nakikipagsiksikan sa kanya-kanyang mga barangay para sila ay mapasama sa listahan ng tuturukan. Okay? Para kung kami ay partially and fully vaccinated, ay iba-iba na kayo ipupunta sa school kasi kami ay may panlaban na may immunity na kami dito sa ating pandemya. Okay? And the last one, encourage cooperation among stakeholders. So mga parents, meron po tayong venue to monitor your child or children's engagement status. This is part of the LMS tutorial video on Friday. So, sa Friday po, kasama po sa presentation ni Sir Eman, paano kayo mag-create ng account kay Quipper para makita ninyo kung nagsasubmit talaga ang inyong mga anak, kung ilan na ang naisubmit. Makikita nyo kasi doon kung ano yung dapat niyang gawin at ano na yung mga nasubmit niya. Of course, you are part of our evaluators, my dear parents. Kaya may distance learning survey na ipinapadala pa rin sa parents' email address at the end of the second and fourth quarter. Kaya nga po hinihingi namin ang inyong email address mga parents para kayo ay magkaroon ng pagkakataon na makapagsagot doon sa ating distance learning survey. Ngayon, lahat po ng klase ay may parents Google Classroom. So, halimbawa po sa 7 Corinthians, may Google Classroom na gagawin si Miss Des o yung advisor para sa mga bata na yun, it's a must na mag-join ang lahat ng member ng Corinthians. Ito po example lamang at gagawa rin po siya ng isang Google Classroom para sa mga parents na syempre ang gagamitin yung email address doon ay email address na ninyo mga parents. Hindi na it's not a requirement, but I do encourage all parents to join the Google Classroom so that all the you can also receive all the announcements na ibababa ng ating advisor. So yun po ay lahat ng ating advisors from grade 7 to grade 12 ay gagawa ng Google Classroom. Una ulit para sa mga bata, which is a requirement to join. Requirement po na mag-join ng ating mga bata doon. At ang isa naman po ay para sa mga magulang. Hindi naman po requirement, but I encourage you, our dear parents, to join. And then we also have the availability of suggestion box when coming to school or online suggestion box. So, dito po sa school ay nag-decide kami na maglagay ng suggestion box. So, every time po na kayo ay pupunta dito, ay ma-solicit namin kung ano yung mga ways on how we can improve our services. And as well, kung hindi naman kayo mabigyan ng pagkakataon na pumunta sa school, meron pong link na ibibigay ang atin pong advisor doon sa Parents Google Classroom para po sa inyong mga suggestion. Huwag po kayong mag-alala, ang inyong pong suggestion, ang makakabasa lamang ay advisor at saka ako. Kasi pag kayo na may nagpadala doon sa Google Form, hindi naman po makikita ng iba. Kung sino lang po nag-create ng Google Form, yun lang po ang makakabasa noon. And rest assured that will not be taken against you or your child, but that will be our avenue to improve our services. Okay? So, we are trying to be open-minded about it, and we cannot It's part of our improvement to solicit suggestions or recommendations or even comments from our dear parents. Meron din po tayong community extension program, gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina ay nag-create po tayo ng isa pang department which will be headed by Ms. Des Abaroja. So it's a program that will be that will hopefully reach your barangay. So meron po siya inihanda mga programa at this is our way of showing how we love the people of God. Para po ito ay outreach program ng school at bilang manifestasyon ng aming pananampalataya sa aming Panginoon. Sapagkat naniniwala po kami na ang aming pananampalataya ay maipahahayag namin o kumbaga ay tunay na maipahayag namin sa pamamagitan ng paggawa o paglilingkod ng aming kapwa. Okay, so yan po yung ating Community Extension Program. TLGA Distance Learning Handbook. The handbook exists to familiarize students and parents of policies of the Lipa Grace Academy. Understanding these policies and procedures is required to facilitate and enhance positive student-parent, faculty, and administrative relationships. So for this school year, we are also praying that by using this handbook, specific norms and ethics will be observed with the students enrolled in the institution. It is with hope that all students enrolled and their parents will support the Academy's educational objectives, policies, and procedures as stated in this handbook. Okay, so ano po yung mga revisions natin this school year which are suitable for distance learning? Unang-una, policies are fitted for virtual class. So alam naman po natin na today, this school year is not a face-to-face interaction among our students but a virtual class. So meron po tayong policies, inilapat namin ang mga policies na fitted sa ating virtual class. We also included general procedures that are helpful for smooth transition from traditional to new normal of education. And we also included the privacy agreement. So what are the contents of the TLGA Distance Learning Handbook? So yung pong binasa ko kanina is part of it. Meron tayong history, school seal, biblical philosophy, joint statement of the stakeholders, shared vision of the school and student learning. We also have the creation values, yung aking binanggit kanina, yung GRACE. So, God-fearing, accountable, respectful, accountable, compassionate, and excellent. We also have the TLGA mission and vision, the financial policies. Meron po tayong policies sa school fees. When is the best time to pay for our tuition fee every month? And then, what will happen if we withdraw for the first week, the second week, the third week ng pasukan? So, ano po yung mga fees na dapat natin bayaran o yung dapat natin ma-refund? We also have the scholarship policies. Nandun po sa handbook ang types of scholarship that we have, effective this school year, and how to apply for a scholarship program. Okay, so nandoon po siya lahat sa ating handbook. Nandun din po yung ating mga payment methods. Because of the limited movement brought by the pandemic, nag-adapt po kami ng another method para po makuha namin or makapagbayad kayo sa amin. So, yun po yung ating bank transfer, either over the counter sa mismong bangko or online banking. And then, sa general policies, ano po yung ating makikita? We have the grooming, attendance, flag ceremony, health breaks, and dismissal. We also have the suspension of classes. Kailan po nasususpend ang klase? Especially ngayon sa new normal, nasususpend din po ang klase, syempre. May mga karagdagan nga lamang. And also the health protocols when visiting the campus. So very, very important po to observe the health protocols when visiting the campus. So, I discourage po na tayo ay pumunta lagi sa campus kung hindi naman talaga kailangan. And then, we also have the academic policies. So, for this new normal, we are adopting a different system of grading and promotion. Hindi na po siya yung DepEd Order number 8. So, yung po kasing DepEd Order number 8 is more applicable kapag ka may face-to-face. So, nandoon po yun sa handbook natin. Awards and recognition, ano po yung mga awards na nakukuha ng bata? Doon po tayo, may iba't ibang uri po ng awards para sa grade 10 at 12. At ano naman po, kailan po nasasabi na ang bata ay achiever, with honors, with high honors, or with highest honors. Nandun din po ang aming institutional policy na sinusunod kung paano kami nagko-compute ng mga special awardees sa grade 10 at grade 12. Di po ba sa grade 10 at grade 12, other than the academic awards, meron tayong mga special awards sa specific disciplines. So, meron po kasi yung mga rules kung paano tayo magbibigay ng points sa iba't ibang areas. Doon nyo po yung makikita. So, for our grade 10 and grade 12 students, hopefully you will read those parts in our handbook para maintindihan ninyo na, gusto nyo magkaroon ng special award, ay dapat ma-meet nyo yung mga criteria na nandoon. We also have the awards committee. So, sino po ba ang members ng awards committee and how we are choosing the members of the awards committee. And of course, on how you are going to file protest. Kaya nga po, ang ibinibigay po namin card ay hindi yung original card muna, kundi e-report card. So, hindi naman po ibig sabihin na naibigay namin ng e-report card ay wala na po kayong karapatang magtanong at hindi na po namin kayang itama. So, tayo po dito sa Grace ay magkatuwang, tayong mga magulang at ang paaralan sa pagpatnubay sa ating mga anak at bahagi po noon ang pagsasaayos noong marka niya sapagkat yun ay pinaghirapan ng bata. Kung sa inyong palagay po, my dear parents, ay may pagkakamali sa naging computation ng grades ng inyong anak, all you have to do is to approach the class advisor first. At ang class advisor po ang bahala na makipag-coordinate sa subject teacher. At kung mapatunayan naman po talaga na mayroong pagkakamali, ito po ay ating sinesettle na with due process. And then, disciplinary policies, meron po tayong under nyan types of offenses and disciplinary corrections, disciplinary probation, and policy on anti-bullying. Then we also have the general procedures, identification, paano po ang inyong anak mag-a-apply ng, first of all, paano niya makikita ang kanyang section. Secondly, paano niya i-register ang kanyang email sa school database. Thirdly, paano ang subject enrollment, nandiyan na rin po. And paano siya mag-a-apply ng kanyang ID. Nandun din po kung siya mag-a-apply ng scholarship, which form to visit. And then kung siya, paano rin po kung mag-a-apply ng ESC para po sa ating grade 7. Ando din po ang ating curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Paano po yung mga procedures ng paano kung siya ay hindi maka-attend ng Google Meet, anong mangyayari, anong dapat niyang gawin kung hindi siya maka-attend ng Google Meet, paano ang pagsasubmit ng ating mga assessment. So, lahat po yan ay makikita nyo doon. And then, the student support services. So, ano po itong mga student support services na ito? Nandyan po ang guidance and counseling. So, makikita nyo po sa ating student handbook ang available guidance program para po sa wellness ng ating mga bata. Nandun din po ang student activities, spearheaded by the Student Affairs Office. Yung po mga calendar of activities natin para sa SAW. So mga bata, kung kayo ay may mga natatanging talento, ay inyo nang ipakita. Tingnan ninyo doon yung mga contest na sa palagay ninyo ay sakto sa inyong talento o sa inyong interest. Nandun din po ang library services. So, papaano po kung pag tayo ay hihiram ng libro o kailangan natin ng mga additional e-books. So, meron po doong process on how we can reach our library custodian. And of course, the student record. So, if you would like to request the record, the student record, specifically po yan ay mga good moral, certification ng grades, and other related student records, nandun din po sa student handbook ang link para po makaabot yung inyong request sa ating registrar. Lahat po tayo ay nakalink. Basta po tayo may kailangan at meron din po tayong iba't ibang email address ng offices base doon sa inyong kailangan. Lahat po ito idinagdag namin ngayong taon para po ma-minimize namin yung pagpunta ng parents ng mga bata dito at ma-maximize namin yung online communication. So, yung pong kung ang problema nyo po, ang kailangan nyo po ay student records, good moral, grades ng bata, certification, ay doon po tayo sa registrar. Ang kailangan nyo naman po ay ESC, application sa ESC, submission, or ID, doon po tayo sa secretary. Kung ang kailangan naman po natin ay referral, consultation, o kung gusto nyo na bisitahin namin ang inyong anak, sa lahat po ng wellness program, ay doon po tayo sa guidance and counseling office. Kung ito naman po ay related sa school activities, doon po tayo sa student affairs office. Okay po? And ano pa po ang ating makikita sa ating distance learning handbook? Nandun po ang ating privacy agreement. So, napakahigpit po ng ating Privacy Act, lalo na po ang pagdi-disclose ng information ng mga bata. So, makikita nyo po doon kung hanggang saan lang ang pwede namin ibigay at ano yung mga dapat na maging pag-iingat natin doon sa mga records ng bata at kailangang ibulgar ang pangalan ng inyong anak. Basically, yun naman po ay kung sila nagkaroon ng karangalan, di naman po masama na ipakita natin ang litrato ng inyong mga anak. Yun nga lang po, dapat po tayo ay may agreement. Kaya po tayo may privacy agreement dyan. Nandun din po ang parents' role and parental statement of cooperation. Okay, so Gratians as trailblazers. So this pandemic has paralyzed us in doing many of our normal day-to-day tasks. The old ways may not be applicable to us for now, but this should not stop us from enjoying the beauty of life that is a wonderful present from God. As Gratians who are experiencing the grace of God, let us be trailblazers of our time by finding new ways to adapt this new normal. Okay, so thank you very much, my dear students, parents, and advisors for staying with me. And together, let us experience God's amazing grace. So for your questions or your clarifications, your advisor will be answering your questions or your clarifications. God bless everyone.